Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Program where I want to help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And as promised, we're doing some more white wines. My last episode, I have no idea why, but I kept saying, we're in the summertime, we're in the summertime. Well, summer isn't until around the 20th of June, and so we're not officially in the summertime yet, but we've been having such beautiful weather here, it just makes me feel like we're in the summertime. And you know, with summer coming up, we're going to be drinking more whites. Hopefully you drink whites. You're not one of these people that, well, you can do whatever you want, but you know, there's a group of people that kind of think that it's only cool to drink reds and that whites are really a waste of time. You know, like I said, if that's the way you feel, fine, but you know, there are so many great white wines out there, and they're so diverse, and they're so good with food, and there's so many things that you're missing out on if you do not drink white wine. I'm just saying. And today we're going to do Riesling. Riesling is one of those, another one of those maligned varieties that a lot of people think is kind of a foo-foo drink. They don't drink sweet wines. Well, you know, not all Riesling are sweet. For sure. There's dry Riesling, there's crisp Riesling, there's laser sharp Riesling, you know, that just cuts your tongue. They go all over the place. One of the things here in Washington State, and it's probably true, I'm sure St. Michel distributes throughout the United States, all over the place. They're really big. I think you can even get St. Michel, if I'm not mistaken, in France, I believe. Anyway, they have a Riesling that goes for about, you know, $8 a bottle. And, you know, it's pretty basic Riesling. It's sweet, it's easy to drink, and you know, I have the greatest respect for St. Michel. You know, especially after having my interview with Bill Powers and some of the things he told me, I even gained more respect for them as a winery. But this whole thing with the $8 Riesling from St. Michel has really, in a lot of ways, has hurt the Riesling category because, first off, somebody says, well, I'm going to try Riesling. Why not try the cheapest one? Let's try St. Michel. They're a great producer. They drink this wine. It's kind of sugary, sweet. You know, it's well made, but you know, it's just not what Riesling really is all about. And as a result, they say, well, you know, I don't need to try Riesling. They kind of, you know, categorize it or pigeonhole it into that one spot. What a big mistake to do that, because Riesling is so diverse. In fact, you know you've hit wine geekdom. You've become a wine geek when you start really searching out and drinking Riesling. Kind of ironic that I brought up St. Michel because the first Riesling we are going to try today is from St. Michel. It's 14 Hands. Now, I've never had the 14 Hands Riesling. I've had St. Michel's Riesling before. They're the one that says St. Michel on it, but I haven't had the 14 Hands, so I'm kind of curious to try this one. Now, Riesling, like I said, it goes all over the place. I'm going to show you the label. So many people know 14 Hands. But there you go. 14 Hands Riesling. This goes for $11 a bottle. So, you know, it's a little bit more than their St. Michel Riesling, but, you know, let's see what we get with this one. Riesling is just so fantastic with so many different foods. And the styles of Riesling kind of match different types of food. So, you know, typically Riesling is very good with food with a little bit of heat, you know, because sweet against heat kind of works. So, let's see what we get on the nose. A lot of apples. You know, it's a sweet apple nose. There's a little bit of rubber boot, kind of rubber beach ball sort of thing. You know that smell you get off of you know, those beach balls, plastic beach balls? I like that. That's one of the things as a Riesling geek you're kind of looking for. They call it petroleums and diesel. To me, it's like a rubber beach ball or a plastic beach ball. Little apples, maybe getting a little, you know, stone fruit like peaches, maybe. Even a little tangerine coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. It's sweet, but it's not super sweet. This is not sugarcane sweet. Sometimes I get some of the Rieslings that you try have a little bit of that sugarcane thing going on. This actually has a nice little bright side to it. I'm getting tangerine, peaches, apples. Good, you know, not super acidic, but it has some acidity. Kind of cool. You know, this would be a nice a nice crossover Riesling. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're drinking St. Michel, you know the hot to trot label, you know the 14 hands label. I think this would be a nice one to kind of head you towards a more geeky Riesling. It has a little bit of that petrol on it, that rubber boot thing going on. Good tangerine, peaches sort of element, apples. Decent acidity. I mean, you know, it's not awesome, but it's fresh. Liking that. That's a very good call. Good job, St. Michel, with the 14 hands label. I'm gonna go B- on that one. I like that Riesling for 11 bucks. Yeah, not too bad. I probably don't need to rinse these, but there's probably some differences in these. Did I give the vintage on that? I don't think I did. 2011 Riesling. Now we're going to St. Laurent, another Washington Riesling. Excuse me, I'm going to digress a little bit here. 14 hands Riesling, Washington State. I didn't say any of that. You think I was a rookie at this or something. Man. Now we're going to St. Laurent. This is a $10 Riesling. Estate Winery, 2010 Riesling, Columbia Valley. And if I'm not mistaken, in the catalog they said I got like 90 points Wine Spectator. I'm not a huge points guy myself, but you know, some people like that stuff. There you go, St. Laurent, 2010 Riesling. So this is $10, you know, that's what would be fairly inexpensive, obviously. This has almost an oatmeal, like, you know how you stick your nose in a, you know, those Quaker oatmeal containers, you open it up, it smells like that on the nose. A little perfumey, like perfumed oatmeal. Getting a little bit of apple and peach coming through. This is really golden in color. I mean, it's, you know, a little bit more golden than the other one. Interesting to see what we get on. It's not a, you know, it's not a huge bouquet. There's that, like that oat thing coming through. Apples, peaches. Let's see what we get on the palate. Now we're going up into another level of acidity. This is definitely not as sweet as the 14 hands. Still has that sweetness that you get from Riesling. But again, a nice cutting edge on the palate, which I like in a Riesling. I like it to have a little bit of acidity. Helps it with food, but also makes it much more refreshing, much more interesting. I love that in a Riesling. I'm getting the tangerine on this. I'm getting peaches. I'm getting a little bit of apricot. Has a nice roundness on the mid palate, but then it finishes nice and dry, but still has that sweet edge to it. Another great Riesling. Now this doesn't have as much of the petrol on it as 14 hands, which I find quite interesting. I asked Josh Maloney from Millbrand, I said, what gives Riesling that kind of petrol thing? And I don't know, we didn't really come to a conclusion. But it's obviously part of the makeup of the wine, the way it's made, the style, all of that kind of contributes to that petrol thing that hits Riesling. But this does kind of leans away from it. So a lot of you might, if you're getting into Riesling, you know, you might want to seek out the St. Laurent. I think a lot of people will like this wine. I'm going BB+ on that one. That's a nice job on the St. Laurent. Now let's move on to the Claiborne and Churchill Dry Riesling. This one rolls in at $20, so we're getting a little bit more serious here. It's Edna Valley, California. All right. California is not, they do not hang their reputation on Riesling. They make a lot of it, but it certainly isn't a huge part of their wine portfolios. I tasted a Pinot from these guys I really liked. I think it's in one of my past episodes. This is a 2011, again. Riesling is really big in Germany, of course, and Alsace, France, big Riesling producers. And Washington is well known for its Rieslings also. It's definitely a lot of great Rieslings coming out of Washington State. But if you want the really, really serious Riesling, you have to go to Germany. Just saying. Let's see what we get on the nose. Well, there you go. This one has petrol on it too. It has that little rubber boot, plastic beach ball thing. Getting a little pear, like Asian pear. Apples. Definitely like a mandarin orange or tangerine nose coming through. And this one is pretty golden also. Very interesting. Let's see what we get on the palate. A lot of diesel on this one. Almost a bitterness, which is really weird. A lot softer in the mouth than either of those two. It has a bitterness that makes it kind of awkward. I'm not liking this Riesling at all. The diesel comes through definitely. It's lacking acidity. I don't get a lot of the fruit flavors out of it. I think there is, let me try it again. There's pears, there's apples, a little bit of citrus element coming through, but this is not 20 bucks. It's a big pass for me. I would not encourage you to spend $20 on this bottle of wine. See, you know, some people shouldn't attempt to make Riesling. I mean, there is some good qualities about that, but no, I'm going to pass on it. That's you know, for that price, for what you get, I'm going D on that one. Do not like that at all. Well, there you go. Riesling. Get into it. Experiment with it. You can get, well, you got those two Rieslings right there for $11 and $10. Don't shy away from it. It's not a girly drink. Talk to some guys that are into wine. Most guys I know that are really, really buried in the wine world love Riesling. Give it a try. Thanks for watching. Cheers. And here's to keeping the snob out of wine.